Hi there, and welcome back to the History of Fleetwood Mac. I'm Anita. Welcome back to Volume 6, Episode 3 of my scrapbooks. We are continuing on with Mirage. If you were with me on my last video, I was going to open up this video with some great outtake photos of Stevie Nicks and Fleetwood Mac from the Gypsy video. It is actually mostly just Stevie, but there's a couple of the rest of the band. And I just wanted to start off right off the bat. This one really cool one. This one is just really one of my more special pieces. I just think it's really unique and embodies that moment in the video, running out into the rain. And then somebody had seen this online, or I don't know if it was auctioned. I really don't know, but somebody had made it for me. I would love to have this in a clearer, better copy. Stevie just looks adorable there. Lindsay. And I don't know if she's like, I don't think they're filming. I think she's just talking or doing something, but just that little stance of hers. She just looks like a complete little popper, street gypsy that she's trying to be in the video. So that's just a little kind of a give me, but this is an original photo. And then to go with that one is this one, which again, Stevie, it's unfortunate she's not, her face in this one. And this one is not crystal clear, but it's still a great photo, and in color no less. I would love to see more from this session, this particular time in filming. A really great artist, photographer, video maker, Dean Carr, had done a video for Stevie and released a ton of his photos that he took during and the whole filming and behind the scenes. And I think some were done for like Rooms on Fire, but I would really like to see more from the Gypsy or Hold Me video. That would be really cool. If more photos of those could come out, that'd be pretty neat. But yeah, I really like these two. Then I was starting this next story. Every time I look at these photos, it was kind of funny. There was a seller that I brought up in the past, and I bought a lot of photos from her. And I actually mentioned her in the last video because I want to kind of compile all the ones that I had gotten from her and kind of make a video about that and selling on eBay and buyers and sellers on eBay, etc. But this person was one of the most phenomenal sellers I've ever met. And even though I never really got to know her or stay in touch with her, she was just remarkable. She was so nice. And she was selling most of these pictures for her brother, as I understood. And at one point or another, when I was talking to her and she was smack dab in the middle of selling all these photos, there was an opportunity for me to possibly trade her for some of the photos that she was selling for her brother. And I'm certainly not where I'm at today in my photos. I've certainly, gone tenfold on what I used to have. But at the time, I had a pretty reasonable amount of photos in 1997 and earlier. And but I had made these two that I'm about to show you available as potential things to trade. And I didn't get any foul message or any bad language or cruelty or anything like that. But basically, the person was kind of offended that I would even offer these. Like they were just like, so beneath him. And it was kind of discouraging because I get it. Obviously, if you're trading, you want to trade or something like that to feel even. But all the photos and everything that I have are just, I'm so proud to share and so proud to show. And I don't think that anything is too small or too little. If it's something I haven't seen before, I would like to add it to my collection. But I guess this person just, wasn't into that anymore. And I did end up selling or trading a vintage large Buckingham Nicks outtake. It was like 18 by 20 or something like that. It was freaking gorgeous. And I kind of regret it now. I have a copy of it, and now that all the stuff is coming out for the resurgence with Buckingham Nicks. But nonetheless, that's just kind of always what I think about when I look at these pictures. So to show you the first one, they are definitely a little blurry. They're a little, not crystal clear. But I've not seen these elsewhere. I know for a fact that I got these from Book City at or around the same time, might be on the same visit as these. And, they're not screen grabs or nothing of the sort like that. They're not perfect, but they're just really unique, and I love them. I love having them in my collection. So, and that's what matters, right? So, and then this one goes with it, little accompanying one. That is the full frame. It's unfortunate that there wasn't, one all the way, but You would go into the store, either store actually, Star World did this too, and you would look at all the negatives, or they'd have little like proofs out, and you would pick out what you wanted, and then they'd develop them and send them to you later. So yeah, those ones were kind of cool. Really like those two pictures from Gypsy. All these pictures from Gypsy. Then this one has kind of been out there. I know a couple of people have had that, had this. I was able to acquire this. It took me some time getting this one, but yeah, another gorgeous one. Are they all? I say that all the time. Stop me if you heard that one before. But just really, what a time, right? What a great video. And all these pictures are just such great little outtakes from that. Then again, this one is just beautiful, right? Then I think when I said this one took me a while, I think it was actually this one. I apologize. This one. And this is my least favorite photo page I've ever made in my life. I hate how this turned out. But bear with me. Just don't look at everything else. Just look at the photo. So this one is kind of similar to this, but a little bit off. Then this one I've had since high school, at least, probably. Don't know where I got it. But yeah, I had done this whole, I think it says some lace. I don't even think there's and. I think I had the little and insignia paper flowers. I thought it was so cute and clever. These damn letters don't stick for love or money. It just looks like crap. It's such a pretty picture, and I should do it better. I should do better by this photo. At the time, I thought it was very clever. So that is my Gypsy. That is a lot of the Gypsy stuff. So some really cool photos from Gypsy. You know, I'm grateful for the handful. I'm sure there's a ton more, but I'm grateful for the handful that is out there and really like these. So then moving on, we have some of the Hurrell stuff. Now this is the beginning part. I noticed there's a couple of these pages here and a small gap, and then probably in the next video I'll get into the bulk of all the Hurrell that I have. But these were some, I think these ones were, this is an original here. Unstamped or anything like that, but it is, you know, and it's just like a regular photograph. This is a copy that I think I got the original of later, or possibly not, but really great. It's funny because I'm pretty sure that's the dress that Christine wore on the back of Rumors. Maybe not. Am I wrong about that? It looks like it. And I think that got auctioned off. Stevie looking phenomenal. But George Hurrell, if you aren't familiar with him, he'd done those pictures like I'd shown you of Lindsey Buckingham earlier. And, you know, I don't know what he was doing with Mick and John. I don't know if he had an agenda specifically, because, you know, to be honest, I haven't seen solo pictures of just Mick and John. And I'm sure there is, and I would love to see them. But he did a full session with Stevie, a couple sessions with Lindsey, what with Law and Order, and then later for Mirage. And then he did a lot with Christine. And, you know, of course, Christine and Stevie are made up to look like, you know, old-time Hollywood starlets, you know, plenty of ones that he'd worked with over time. And then, like I said, they had kind of done that Johnny Weissmuller throwback, you know, 30s matinee idol thing with Lindsey. But I wonder if they'd done either anything with John or Mick specifically. This is a nice shot, but this is just more a studio shot by Hurrell. This is Hurrell's gimmick is not the right word, but for lack of a better one, lots of shadows, play on lights, you know, just again, that kind of dark and light tone and such like that, which you do get here. But again, this is more a portrait style for Hurrell, whereas this is really his signature, if you will. It's lots of the shadows. And then, you know, like a dark and then a light or something like that. So lights up here and just getting that different look. And you can see its evidence a little bit further with this shot here, which is a great one of the guys here, which is another original. See the signature here. Then funny enough, this was an autograph somebody got me, and I don't know who George is, but I just put like it's George Real because I thought it was kind of cute. So didn't know where else to put it. So I thought it worked with this one. Kind of nice. Normally I wouldn't get something with, it's funny. I have some, I'm not really good with autographs, but I have some friends that are, really good, and I look to for advice. And, I think I can, look at stuff, but, sometimes I'm wrong, sometimes they're wrong, and they're certainly more knowledgeable than I am. But it's funny because my friend had specifically said that this looked like Stevie during a certain era. Don't ask me which one he had said, but it was either this one or another one. And they said it was kind of more specific. Maybe it was more closer to time space because, everybody's signature, your own, certainly does change over time, but there's definitely a certain look during certain periods of time. This one still has the complete signature look, no pun intended, of all of her style. The curve of her ends and the K and the S and everything like that. So, but just really cool little piece to go with this, I thought. On the back here, we have some outtakes, which kind of breaks up the pictures, unfortunately. But these were pictures. If anybody has that Schlitz beer poster, the Mirage poster, Stevie's wearing a different outfit here, but these were outtakes from that time where they're all kind of sitting on the end of the stage, and later, I think it's in this one you can see, or you can't see it in this one, but you see all the beer, number one. Everybody's holding it or drinking it. But some of the other pictures I have, you see all these hats, because I think one of them is wearing a hat in the poster, and I think probably they were all asked to. I'm sure they had to do, give a certain amount of publicity or again, hold the beer, wear the hat, something, I don't know, for for the advertising or whatever was contracted with them. But it's so funny because I have seen a picture of them, and those hats are all behind them. Like, nobody wants to wear those damn hats. They'll hold the beer, okay, but they don't want to wear the hats. But they're really cute because Stevie and Lindsay look like they're having a good time. I guess everybody's probably in a good mood if they've been drinking beer. I've heard that Schlitz is kind of crappy beer, so but it was the 80s, so who knows? But some really great times, and I think that, let me see if I'm right here. I think part of that same session might be, let's see if this is it here. I'll show you this one here. I think this might go with them. Maybe they don't. Seems like it was the same day, but maybe I'm wrong. Now, these photos are taken by Jim Shea, S-H-E-A. I'm not sure I'm saying that right. Shea or Shea. Kind of getting... My cat is snoring. Some really cool. I have many more of these to show, but I think just for some reason I think that particular one goes with the session, but I could be wrong. And I think that is it for this one. So yeah. So on the next video, I'm going to start up. There's a little break, and then there are some of my really good Hurrell photos. And I need to remember to take one off a wall to show you and share that little story with you. So I hope you enjoyed these. We have a lot more to go. I've lots of these to show later. So thank you so much for joining me, and I hope everybody has a great night. We'll see you next time. Bye.